woke up and my nipples were so hard they could cut like diamonds. I mean, just like
it is colder. It is
glass.
cold, and I
you
know,
could
dude.
Cut
It's
glass.
Like,
so.
Dude, Rod's always trying to throw something to make me laugh right before we go live, and he's usually pretty spot on. So, dude, it is colder than the North Pole here in Idaho,
Yep.
and Pensacola got snow. I mean, it's sheer pandemonium. That's all I know weather-wise, but we are super excited. We are live for another episode of the RoadFS CRM Podcast. And if you haven't heard, it is now the RoadFS Detail Bookie Podcast.
Yep.
Because now Detail Bookie is part of the RoadFS family. We have some really exciting things coming. You're not going to see a lot of changes, but there's going to be changes, behind the scenes that we're really excited about. And and all this happened like the day before I'm going out of town for a family cruise. And so it has been nonstop to kick off the year. And we are kicking off another great episode in preparation of Mobile Tech Expo. Our good friend Tom Williams and Randy Hobson, they have something really cool in the works for Mobile Tech Expo. And so Tom reached out and he goes, "Hey, can I be on the show?" I go, absolutely. Especially because what he is working on benefits the Kevin Hale Foundation. Kevin Halewood, thank you. And so, yes, we're super excited, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's just jump right into what you guys have going on with the Kevin Halewood Foundation.
Sure. The foundation has been set up basically to keep Kevin Halewood's legacy alive. This was something that I approached Kevin with a couple years ago. We knew that he wasn't in good health, but we didn't know exactly where that path was going to take him. His journey took him to somewhere we absolutely didn't expect. But working with Kevin, he was going to do this with me. He didn't know the name of it. I wouldn't tell him the name of what I was thinking this entire time. And that's kind of a funny story, and I'll share that. But the foundation's set up to help technicians in need. We just set it up last year. It was just in the beginning when Kevin had passed. That was actually the Sunday. That picture you're seeing right there was the Sunday before MTE last year.
Yeah.
And Kevin went in the hospital on Wednesday, and they had put a feeding tube in him, and it just didn't pan out. The Lord took him, and Lord took it. He graduated to a new world that would, hopefully all of us will enter someday and be able to see him again. He was a great man.
And you talk about a great man. You want to talk about a man that has probably one of the most significant impacts on the auto recon industry.
Right.
And I emphasize that because it's PDR, it's auto detailing, which is kind of leading to what Tom Williams is doing. And it's just, you talk about a legacy.
Yeah.
When did Mobile Tech Expo, when was the first year of Mobile Tech Expo? Because I know you and I went.
I was 2007, and it was already a big deal.
So, you know what? It's been going
This is our 25th anniversary. Isn't that what Sheldon said the other night?
25th anniversary.
25th anniversary.
Yeah.
I believe so. Don't hold me to that.
I believe
that's what Sheldon said.
Yeah, I believe that's right. I've been to every one of them. I didn't go to one 3 years ago because I was pretty sick. That's the only one that I missed. And I wanted to have that perfect attendance, something I never had in high school, that's for sure. My high school would say, "You had perfect attendance in anything?" Because I think I missed 51 days my senior year.
Yeah, I showed up for my graduation in high school, and they said, "Who are you?
Who are you?"
But yes, that foundation's really set up to help technicians in need. We was going to use this year as all fundraising, and then be able to start helping people this year. That's not what happened. It was pushed fast forward, and we've written out 8 checks this year. We've helped out people. It is a complete.
Awesome.
Now that everything we're doing right now is the PDR side, and that's why I put my website here. If anybody watching this, we would love somebody to come in and help take the detail sector over for us. I can't do everything. The PDR side is just been mind-blowing. and the support. We really want to branch out into the detail sector. We also want to have a third sector, and that sector would be interior repair, PPF, maybe paint touch-up, ceramic coatings, interior repair, like I said, windshield repair, kind of the miscellaneous. Put them in a group, the detail in a group, and the PDR in a group. But it's been a great thing. We've helped, like I said, a lot of families already. It's very confidential unless that family wants to talk about it.
Yeah, so there are a few of them out there that are specific to detailing. Morning, Travis. The IDA has some scholarship funds. In fact, those funky jackets that we wore last year to the award ceremony, we're going to be auctioning those off this year, and all the proceeds will go to the IDA's scholarship program, which is a little bit different than what you guys are doing, but it's at least it's something to give back to people. And then there's also the Chris Evans Foundation in detailing. That is a foundation specifically for education. So there's a lot of ways that people in the recon industry can get help if they need it. We generally give away several packages a year. I know that Jody and I have funded a lot of people to become certified machines. We helped get a polisher to a gentleman up in Canada. So we're trying to do those things together, and we should sit down with you guys at MTE and talk about some of those and see if we can bring some of that together.
Yeah, and you mentioned not being able to handle it all. I mean, you have done a phenomenal job on the PDR side with your fishing derby. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it this year because I have IDA board commitments. But I mean, the work that you've been doing with the Kevin Hale Foundation and trying to really push on the PDR side, it's just admirable, right? And then you got this amazing dude, Tom Williams, with Mobile Environmental Solutions, who has the PDR tunnel of preference for PDR guys. And I understand that he's come out with something new, specifically designed for detailers. So what is that, Tom?
Thanks, Jody. It's we have done a significant amount of R&D for the PDR tunnel. And when I say that, it's finding the right material that was transparent. It's finding the right material that was light transparent. It's finding the right material that will hold up to the abuse that it's going to go through. I mean, these inflatables aren't made out of the same material that your kids' jump house is made out of that you rent for a birthday party. It's a much higher quality vinyl. And for the paint boost, it has to adhere to a flame threshold. Mm-hmm. Going back to the PDR tunnel, I've always gone to the MTE show and go, what can I do to help the detailers out? That's what fuels my fire is efficiency. It goes from when I graduated high school and I worked for the largest Anheuser-Busch distributor in the world, and I was getting paid half a cent to deliver a case of Busch beer. I wanted to make sure we could do as many cases of one trip as possible to be efficient. That's who I am. In the detail side, in the mobile side of things, everything's going mobile. We all know that real estate, having a storefront is a lot more expensive. We know that the high-end detailers, the owners of those cars, they don't want the cars leaving their facilities. They don't want them leaving their house or their driveway. So in the back of my mind, I was like, how can I build something that would benefit the detailers, the mobile car wash guys, the PPF guys, the wrap guys? Yeah. So I teamed up with Matt Raza from Gold Standard Finishing at SEMA. And he's a guy that if you've seen his Instagram videos, he's polishing out Cybertrucks to a mirror finish. And I mean, it's phenomenal on the amount of social media content and the views he's getting. And him and I just really hit it off. And we started talking. I was like, look, as a detailer, what do you need? What do you not need? And he just said, look, this is what I need. I need clear light, but I don't need to see the light bulb on the product. Right. I want it to be bright, but not, to where we can see every imperfection when we're doing paint correction, we're doing everything else. We're putting on these wraps or PPF or whatever. So went back to drawing board, leaned on him some more, and came back and got to work. And we've changed the outer material from the PDR to where it holds more light and it sends more light towards the inside of the booth. And this is going to be something that if a guy wants to wash a car and he wants to be able to capture the water, He'll be able to do that without recapturing it. He'll have enough room to where once you set up outdoors, indoors, he won't have a direct sunbeam turn around and cooking his soap on the hood to why he's still washing the back part, his beginning of the rinse cycle. Same thing with the PPF. You won't turn around and I'm hoping it'll keep the car at an even temperature to where the hood's not 50 degrees hotter because it's in the direct sun. And there'll be two different options, just like the PDR tunnel. You can get it with the built-in lights if you want to do it inside and have a really clean work area, because we know that, not every warehouse and facility is going to be the immaculate showroom that we all see on Instagram. And then sometimes you're going to work in less desirable places, but this allows them to have 4 walls, have a clean room if they're working out, say, a 10,000, 15,000 square foot warehouse.
So what is the dimensions of the tunnels you're building?
So exterior dimensions is 17 feet wide, it's 21 feet long, and it's 10 foot tall.
Nice.
If somebody needs something bigger, that's not a problem. If somebody wants something smaller, like let's say there's a gentleman that always goes to MTE and he does this whole thing out of a smart car.
Yeah.
I can see him. I know he's out of the Northeast, and he's got his whole smart car completely built out. If he came and said, "Hey, look, Tom, I just need a half tunnel where I want to turn around and do sections at a time and not take up the whole back end," we can build him that. I mean, everything's made here in Texas. So we can.
That's awesome. So the one question to get off topic just a minute here is that the first time I saw the PDR tunnel, if I say Beetlejuice 3 times, does something happen to the tunnel?
Right. It's pretty wild.
It is crazy. I mean, I definitely, compared to one of those little boards that you see people walking around with and having to hit the whole car, that is, I think that innovation is the key to efficiency. And that's where you create something that's never been built in order to make it more efficient. We look at things like detailing, and you talk to people and you go into their shops and their mobile setup. And the first thing you do if you're watching them is you look at how many trips are you taking back and forth and back and forth. And that's where like some of these carts have come in, and it's like, look, it's not rocket science. It's a cart that holds the stuff you need. But if you're walking back and forth to the van 57 times, that makes no sense. A cart with a fuse strip on the side of it so you can plug in more than one device if you need to. Generator, solar powered, all these things have been innovations that we've seen over the years. And I think that is really where there's 2 ways to make money. You guys know this. You guys have owned businesses for a long time. You can either cut costs or you can increase your revenue. But if you're doing both of those, you're actually making more money. So you want to look at both of those things. You can definitely make more money if you have something like you're talking about, a tunnel where I can work in the elements to a certain level and not be affected by them. Places like down in Florida where the sun's really intense, in Houston where there's a lot of humidity. I ran into an environment last year that I have never been in my life. We went to Jacksonville, Florida right after the hurricane, and the ambient temperature and the humidity and the dew point were at such a high level that products were not curing. We could not get it was an interior repair we were doing on vinyl, some of Richard Hutchings out of the UK, the leather repair company's products that have been engineered for years, and it would not cure in that specific temperature.
Crazy,
7-8 hours later, it's still wet, tacky to the touch. So having something, we put it inside of a shop, we put a fan up, and all of a sudden we have changed the environment. So what you're really doing with those tunnels is you're changing the environment. You're enhancing the environment with the lights, but you're actually changing the environment because you're taking away the UV rays and you're taking away the direct sunlight and a lot of that stuff that causes in detailing the products to flash too fast.
So, and my question, you kind of alluded to it, but how do you keep the heat down in a tunnel like that? Because I've been in those bouncy houses, and dude, it's like it gets so sweaty and musty in there. So how are you managing that with the tunnels?
So the doors are removable, but the biggest thing is you're blocking that direct sunlight. So one of the things I learned from the PDR tunnel and from Mike Nosker, who does hail repair up in Dallas, is just like we turned around and we took a temperature. I can probably go find it from my thumb drive. But we had those old school thermometers that's like a clock, and it was 15 degrees cooler underneath the tunnel than outside, and that's just directly from the sunlight. That's your Texas sun, just strictly that. Now, with it not turning air as fast like our paint booths do, you could actually turn around and put a swamp cooler in there and bring the temperatures down quite a bit, because you're not talking. I mean, if I take that footprint and I put an F-150 in there, or I put a Suburban in there, you're not talking about a whole lot of cubic feet after you bring in an automobile to where you can bring that temperature down. Or if you need to turn around and bring it up, like, even us, it's been getting in the 20s this week. I know detailers aren't just turn around and saying, well, we're just not going to work this week. Their bills are stuff you do.
Yeah.
So this would give them an opportunity where you can put a little floor heater in there. If you actually look at our Instagram story today, Matt from Gold Standard last night was in Orlando. He's turned around and working one of our other inflatables. It's pouring down rain. It's super cold because we're getting this cold front just like the rest of the South is. And he's got a heater in there, and they're just continuing polishing away that Cybertruck going to town.
Yeah.
He wasn't, any other circumstance, he would have been done working for the day. And he's on a tight schedule. His stuff is booked out 3-4 months in advance, like all the other good guys. And he can't turn around and go, oh, I missed day 2 here, this next. It messes up his whole calendar.
Yeah. I can see, when I first saw that tunnel, the first thing that popped into my head was all the people that chase hail. And because when you're chasing hail, you're on the road, you're all mobile, but you have to have an environment where you can see all that stuff. And I several years ago, you guys probably don't know this about me, but I ran around with a big PDR company for a couple of weeks to try to build out our CRM software. And I was there for about 2 weeks, and we were in 4 different states. And some of those hail jobs, there's people pulling over at the side of the road in just a van that has a cardboard sign that says "We'll fix dents," and they're out in the environment. They can't control any of that. And the key is, there you go.
That's
the key is to control that environment. And that's what that's all about. And I think that people understand that, but they don't think about it. And people are not verbalizing that when you're able to, either detailing, PDR, whether you're doing paint touch-up, windshields, wheels, any kind of automotive reconditioning, you have to control that environment in order to get the best possible result.
Absolutely.
So this is a great opportunity at MTE to see some of these products that people don't necessarily think about that when they're looking at other stuff. There you go. There's a great picture of it.
I love that. I pulled that.
Yeah, there you go. Shrink wrap torches to warm up the hull. That's
exactly
an exact thing you have to do, because the examples of this is that we were in the Seattle area, and we were literally working on at the Museum of Flight there, and working on a plane engine, and it was the stainless side or the aluminum side of the engine. And we were in the sun, and you could literally watch the off-gassing happen. You could watch it. It was like a wave on that metal. And we just said, and we're done. But if we had anything to block those direct rays, that would have happened way faster.
Grab the strobe light. That's an inflatable party.
That actually is, with the stripes on it, Ryan. That is actually a portable bar after hours. They have these flaps that roll down, and there's beer signs, and it's just whatever you want it to be.
So and you mentioned being at Mobile Tech Expo. You're doing something really exciting in conjunction with Randy with the Kevin Hale Foundation. So do you want to give us now? I will say this. I tried to get Tom to give me a picture of the new detail tunnel, and he said, no, you can only see it at Mobile Tech Expo. So we will go live. We will give you a personal tour on the RoadFS podcast. So we don't have any sneak peeks, but there's something really exciting going on at Mobile Tech. Do you guys want to tell us what's going on?
I do. And Jody, I appreciate you guys letting us on. The biggest thing for me was when I started this company 12 years ago, and the internet's evolved so much. I mean, we didn't have podcasts like we do now. Obviously, I met you guys. I think I've been personally using RoadFS from my other company maybe 6-7 years.
Easily 7 years.
Easily.
Yeah. So obviously, I met you guys there. not even going there for my wholesale sprint bedlining company. But when Randy first reached out to me back in June, we had met there, but like at the shows is 4,000 of your closest friends. I couldn't pick him out of the lineup. I'm sure he couldn't pick me out of the lineup. He just said, "Hey, Tom, this is who I am. I've been admiring your tunnel. I'm interested in it. What do you think?" And I was just like, "Man, this is a spill of it." I didn't hard sell it, and he got it, and he just loved it. He became one of my best sales reps. And we started, he's doing all these commercials and everything else for me and helping me out online. And it just made me go, what he's doing for Kevin. And what I'm coming back to is 11 years ago when I first started exhibiting at the MT show, we were nobody. Nobody knew who Mobile Environmental Solutions was. There was a couple other guys that had inflatables, but I didn't felt that the background came from the automobile retail side of it. And that's where Kevin kind of helped me out when we didn't have a whole lot of money, and it helped get what I call MES started. I mean, he just gave me basically some parking spots out on the parking lot and didn't knock my head off on what he charged for a trade show. He could have, because there's some trade shows out there that just absolutely get you over. Never had that, experience with the MPE group, and it just took off well. As Randy and I start building more of a professional relationship, I said, "Look, I want to donate a PDR tunnel to the show and this and that." Well, then after I came back from SEMA and you guys were there, it exposed that I had to get off my backside and get a detail booth built. In the back of my mind, I wanted to do it, but I didn't realize how big the demand truly would be. Well, you go to the West Hall, and I mean, you see that line of nothing but routes, nothing but PPF, and how big this market's became, because quite frankly, the paint guys have outpriced themselves, and the wrap technology is just phenomenal. And for people that want to keep up with the trends, they're going that direction. Well, now you're going back to the same thing. Retail space is expensive. You still have to have a clean environment to put on the wraps. You still have to have all this other stuff. So it got the wheels turning. And that's where I just said, "Hey, look, I've got to do something for the detail guys." That's where the tunnel came out. And then as Randy and I were continuing talking, it's like, "Look, we're alienating half the trade show. Why don't I offer to give away a tunnel for the foundation that we're raffling?"
That is awesome. So you can get tickets there. We got the QR code up there. You go and win it from the Kevin Halewood Foundation, or go to the website kevinhalewoodfoundation.org, easypdr.com. And I just, that's kind of the thing that fuels me, when you start talking about that stuff. And it literally, it gives me goosebumps when people are giving stuff away. When we do it, it's something that Jody and I really are passionate about, is giving back. Because we're all very lucky. Jody and I, we are absolutely the luckiest guys in the world. We get to travel all over the world. We get to meet awesome people all the time. We get to be involved in some of these things. Jody and I get to stand up and, on stage, and my mother shakes her head every time I say this, but I'm like, "You told me that being a smart ass would never pay off, and you were wrong." So the thing about that is we have the voice, we have the ability to do that. And we love nothing more than highlighting folks like you, Tom, and Randy that are giving back to the community, because honestly, you make money on this. You've spent money to research this. You don't have to give something like that away, but it's fabulous that you've done that.
Well, it's not like $100.
No, these are huge things. And I think it's great that people are doing that. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but we're in the background. We're doing some other stuff for the detailing industry that we're gonna be opening up something like that for the detailing industry. And it's just, when you get to a certain point that it's more important to give back than it is to get that extra couple of dollars. And I think that's a great place. Jody and I have always been that way. One day, Jody and I were talking, and we said, I want to get good enough that we can donate a park to the city. And Jody's like, "I was thinking the same thing." And I'm like, "You know what? It'd be fun." And we love doing it. We love giving stuff away. We love having raffles. We love just absolutely. So we're really excited about it. Like I said, we've been going to MTE. The first year I went was 2007. And then we skipped a couple of years in there, and then we started coming back, but we haven't missed a year since. And, I just kind of, every time you even say the word Kevin Halewood, I picture this little scooter and him walking around and just zipping around in his scooter there. And I mean, right now he's probably got one that has a battery that will never run out. So he just keeps on going, baby. Yep, there he is. And I think he started something that is fantastic because it is so industry specific. Like you said, it's 4,000 of your closest friends.
I'm going to show that picture again, and then I want to hear from Randy. So I love this picture. Randy sent this picture to me last year. This was, like he said, right before Mobile Tech Expo last year. And Kevin just had a way of making you feel welcomed. He made you feel respected. He made you feel loved. And, so Randy, let's talk about in greater detail the Kevin Halewood Foundation, what you're doing, and, invite people to come to Mobile Environmental Solutions booth and take a look and register to win. It's only $100.
Yeah. So there's two things that's going to happen here. But before I get to that spot, I want to talk about my estimating tunnel that I purchased from Tom, Mobile Environmental Solutions. When you guys are talking about heat, I can tell you that that's just a tunnel. And I tell you, we pull cars in there. It's 100 degrees here in St. Louis. We had a hailstorm here this year. We were nonstop. I bought this too late. I should have bought it right after the show, but I bought this. I don't even know what month I bought it in, but we did hundreds of estimates underneath it, and the cars were hot as can be. I don't know how somebody couldn't detail a car underneath that. So I cannot wait to see this detail tent, because I'm telling you right now, this is the highest quality. This is the best tool I've personally ever purchased for my side of the industry. And when you pull a car in there, like he said, it's 15 degrees cooler. It's 100 degrees outside. You drop that down to 85, man. It makes a world. People are drawing, the customers, the insurance adjusters, everybody wants to get inside that tent. It's a fantastic thing. And I love the lines. With the way the PDR one is set up, you can see every imperfection in the paint.
Yeah.
So with the detail tent, I cannot wait to walk inside that, see a car inside of it. He's going to have them one side by side there at the show, and a paint booth. And the cool thing about this is, even for painters, this raffle that he's offered, which is just mind boggling. And Tom, again, thank you so much for doing this for the foundation, because it's a huge gift coming from you. And I can tell you, we've sold a few tickets, but your odds are incredible. Get online, go to the kevinhalewoodfoundation.org site and go down and buy a raffle ticket. We'll email you the number of the raffle ticket. And, it's fantastic. But anyway, just to talk about that, I wanted to let you guys know if that detailing tent is anything like our PDRs, and I have not seen this tent. He did show me a little clip. I mean, just a real quick clip. So he is keeping this under his hat very, very well.
Look fast.
And I cannot wait to see this thing, because the great thing is if you buy a raffle ticket, you can win the PDR estimating tunnel. You can win the detailing tent, or inflatable detailing. I don't know. What are you calling it, Tom?
I'm calling it tunnel as well, because it's a drive-through design.
Okay, so an inflatable detailing tunnel, or you can take they're valued at, what are they, about $8,000?
Yep.
And you can take that value and put it towards a spray booth. I mean, it's
$8,000, baby.
That's incredible.
$8,000.
So for somebody that's doing mobile stuff, and I'm running through, like you said, Ryan has recommended the tunnel to several PDR guys. I'm thinking about all some of the detailing, the mobile detailing guys, that this is kind of a no-brainer, because you've got to control the environment. That's one of your, there's so many factors involved in doing auto recon, depending on what you're doing, right? If you're detailing, there's like 4 factors. There's the car itself, there's the polisher, there's the products, and then there's you. And then the 5th one is the environment. You have to control that environment. Paint. Yeah.
I was going to say, there's 2 more things about this too, is maybe you're a mobile guy, and mobile guys absolutely need this. I had a mobile car wash for sure. The tunnel of love, that's for sure. You're going to love this tunnel of love. But it's fantastic for a mobile guy. It takes you out of that and everything. But even if you have a shop, a lot of times our shops are tied up for space. We need that extra thing. This is great, you can have these things up in 10 minutes. You have them up in 10 minutes. Now, a third thing is, you can use them as billboards. You can't get signs and everything approved in certain cities, but guess what? You can blow this thing right back down. It's not permanent. You can use it as a billboard. You put big O, and you're going to see that at the show. He's got a bunch of banners that he's making for the shows. It's fantastic. If for $100 for a chance.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Once you come by and see it, and if you don't win, people are going to be buying these things. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Well, and your $100 goes to an incredible
great
foundation
anyway.
Right?
So yeah.
So either way, you're winning because you're giving to help other detailers or PDR guys, because the Kevin Halewood Foundation, it applies to pretty much anybody in the auto recon industry that needs the help. So shout out to that, and then shout out to Tom for donating this. And dude, I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. The only problem with going through it, we just don't want to have Rod walk through the PDR tunnel because it will show all those.
Oh my God, the scars and the dents and The thing is I'm actually blown away. If you look at this year's Mobile Tech Expo, you guys, that is a huge advantage, giving away an $8,000 tunnel. The Kevin Halewood Foundation in general is a huge thing for people. The IDA has a scholarship foundation. Again, we're going to be raffling off these jackets. And then on top of that, you've got individual companies that will be giving stuff away all the time. The Chris Evans Foundation for education. There is just so much stuff that's going on this year that is lining up to be, in my opinion, one of the best years we've had in the auto recon industry. People are starting to see it a lot more. You're starting to see mainstream people talking about detailing. You're seeing, if you watch some of the Mecum options or some of that stuff, they're actually mentioning the quality of paint and things like that. So it's starting to get to the point where this is, especially in the detailing industry, people are really wanting this to be notified or be recognized as a skilled trade. And if more stuff like this, more stuff like the mobile environmental solutions that legitimize your business, where you're capturing the water, you have an environment where you're going and you're not just doing this out everywhere in the middle of the street, and people giving back, to me, really helps this industry become more legitimate.
Well, and I was just thinking about the mobile guys that go to a business complex.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and you talk about having a billboard about your business. Not only are you out there detailing a car, but you're doing it in an environment that's going to be blasted with your logo and your phone number. But, dude, it is going to look top notch. I mean, people are going to drive into that campus, even if they don't work there, and go, oh, dude, do I have time for a detail? Yeah. It is next level. I'm so excited to see it.
Or it's just keeping up with the Joneses. Hey, what is Jody getting done in his car? What's Rod getting done in his car?
Exactly.
I want to get mine done. I mean, it spreads like, I don't want to use what I was fixing to say with what happened in California.
You don't want to do that with California, but
no, that wasn't where I was wanting to go. But word gets around, and from the detailer standpoint, I wish I'd built this tunnel 3 years ago. But reality is, the material we used to build it, I didn't know about 3 years ago. And when I say that, that's what I'm talking about, the light going where it needs to go, not bleeding out, and having good, clear visibility on the vehicle. And I'll just bring up that there's going to be a white Suburban in the Hill Tunnel there that I bought sight unseen from an auction down in San Antonio. I came from the car business. I mean, used to buy and sell hundreds of cars a month. That's not a big deal. I feel pretty confident that I can walk a used car and pick it out. I didn't realize that the passenger door had been repainted when I picked it up. As soon as I pulled it in that Hail Tunnel, and because of the way the white was and the way it shaded part of the light, but still allowed light, I could instantly see that the whole passenger door was hammered with orange.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and the thing is, I want to go back just 1 second to talk about Jody saying pulling into a complex. Years ago, I watched a guy in Canada, hello, Paolo. He was in a parking lot of a big, probably 10-story building. And we were in there doing some stuff with software. And this guy pulls up, and he's got a trailer, and it's all painted red. It's got his phone number on the side. And the center of the trailer is open, and it's got a section underneath it. And this guy pulled up, and all of a sudden, cars started lining up. They knew he was coming in. And he was pulling cars on this trailer and doing oil changes in the parking lot. And he probably had 10 cars lined up just because of that trailer. The tent is going to do the same thing. You set up somewhere with this tent, it's got your name on it. People are like, because we all joke about it in the detailing industry. As soon as you start washing a car, somebody's going, hey, what, you want to do mine when you're done? Yeah, I sure do. Pull it on in the tunnel and we'll take care of it. So I think this is cool. I mean, I love the innovations. There's some cool stuff that came out at SEMA. And I think it's a good time to get into the industry. Automobile sales are still up. They're still doing well. And I think that is a key to this, is that anytime that the new cars are selling, the used cars, the value is staying up there too. So go to Mobile Tech. If you're thinking about it, go there.
Yeah. So yes, Randy, please.
Yeah, if I can, because I've got another podcast to do here in about 10 minutes.
Sorry, we're the guys. Sorry,
no, you guys are good. I just wanted to say one thing real quick. I wanted to finish the story about Kevin Halewood, if we could.
Yeah.
Kevin, when we started talking about this, he wanted this to be a part, for the detailers, for like these three sectors that we had discussed. And we talked about how we wanted to break this up, and then the PDR would do this and detail would do this. And I came from the detail side. I was a detailer. I grew, my first detailing job was in high school. I detailed cars for my Sunday school teacher. And then it broke into where I was detailing cars and had mobile car washes and all that. And that's kind of what led me into this part. And then 93, I learned how to do PDR. But besides that, when I was talking to Kevin about all this, his passion was really for our MTE community and the technicians that are really struggling because of being sick or injured and unable to work. And that's where we come into play at. And like I said, we've helped, we wrote 8 different checks. It's helped families out this year. We don't take a penny for any of this. It's so beautiful to help. It's more beautiful to give, just to be able to be in this position. But I want to tell you the story real quick about Kevin Halewood. You guys know Kevin. He had a great sense of humor. And I'm just he always had a story about something. So now I can tell a story about him. He's told me so many stories over the years. He was one of the best storytellers you'd ever speak to. So I never told him what the name of it was, because I was like, I hope he likes it. Because I thought right out of the gate, I was like, I want to call this the Kevin Halewood Foundation. But what's Kevin going to think about this? He didn't want any glorification. He didn't want anything. And, it's anyway. So I didn't tell him. I was like, I've got a couple names I'm thinking about. And then when we heard that Kevin was going to have his a heart transplant, and he got so bad he'd be in the hospital. He was in hospital for weeks. And my wife and I said, let's fly down there. Let's go see Kevin. I think it's time to go see Kevin. I don't know what's going on. And that morning before we flew, Karen, his wife, had called and said, hey, they found a heart. And we were so excited, so as soon as you get down here, he may already be in surgery. We don't know yet. And as soon as we got in the parking lot and she came out and met us, and they just found out that heart wasn't good. It wasn't the proper size.
Right.
This went on off and on about 5 or 6 times, but I get upstairs before he actually got his heart, which he did fantastic with. That's another story. But so I get upstairs to the room, and the bubble's been popped. Everybody was so excited, and then they find out that it's not a good fit. And we're just talking, and Kevin's just being Kevin, just such a loving guy, and we're laughing and having some fun. And he goes, "Hey, tell me about the name. What's the name? What are you thinking about the name?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got 2 names." And he goes, "All right, let's talk about them." And he goes, "What's the first?" And I said, "Well, the first one would be the Kevin Halewood Foundation." And he got tears in his eyes, and he's laying in the hospital bed, and he looked up and he goes, that sounds nice. It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?" And he just kind of laughed, And I said, "Yeah." I said, that's nice. And we started talking about something else, and I made him ask about the second one, just because he's such a jokester. And he goes, "Well, what about the second? What's the second name you're thinking about?" And I said, "Well, Kevin, that one's completely up to you." And he said, "Huh?" And I go, "Yeah, because if you don't make it through this surgery, I'm going to have to call it the Kevin Halewood Memorial Fund." He just started laughing, and that was just Kevin. And I told him, I said, "Kevin, no, we're gonna call it the Kevin Halewood Foundation." And I said, "That's no matter what." And then on Sunday, right before and by the way, that picture was taken Sunday before MTE. That was exactly 1 week. That was taken 1 week before he passed away. He passed away on Sunday. Right when I landed, Karen had said, I don't know. I think I was somewhere with my grandkids. We picked him up and went to some event, and she sent me a text and said he's gone. And I'll never forget that. But he was just such a special guy, and we loved him so much. We wouldn't be where we are today without his direction. And it's a great honor. It's such a great honor to, help that family have his legacy live on. And we have so much support. I wanted to tell this real quick. We have, I think it's 22 or 24, I don't know the exact number, of PDR companies that's holding a raffle at their booth. We've made these tickets up. Detailers, if you're ever interested in getting involved in the PDR industry, yes, Tom has offered the $8,000 tunnel, which is just amazing. But each one of these booths are going to be holding a raffle. They're going to be selling the raffles. All the money will go to the foundation. And they're the gifts start at $500 and go up to $8,000. We have training packages from Dean King. We have a push on PDR and detailing. They're donating a $5,000 a year subscription for website build and media stuff. So just about every single PDR company is involved in this, and that's the goal. Is that we would love to see branch over to the detail side. We would love to see. We'd really love to see the detail side and that other sector, the miscellaneous sector, do something for all those people as well, because we can't do it all. And we just can't do it all. We need help. That's why I put my email on there, guys. If somebody wants to join up with us and try to head up with the detail side and the miscellaneous side, we need help. And this was Kevin's wish, is that this would represent our entire MTE community.
Yeah.
And we are so honored. I mean, we are humbled that you and Tom reached out and said we would love to come on the show. I mean, Rod and I love doing this kind of stuff, and we have a deep passion and appreciation for Kevin Halewood and his beautiful family. I mean, his wife, his daughter, they are always so helpful over the years. I mean, you looked forward to seeing their faces, and they were just always a bright spot. And dude, we're excited. So guys, if you are coming to Mobile Tech Expo, please stop by the Mobile Environmental Solutions booth. Check out not only the detail tunnel, but also the PDR tunnel and the paint tunnel.
Yeah, it should be easy to find.
It should be. It's going to be the biggest one. And I know Randy wants to say something. He's itching to say something. So please go out. It's only $100, man. And so I want to give a shout out to Tom Williams, who's donating this, because it is a big, it will have a big impact on your business. So thank you, Tom. And we have loved working with you over the years and your team, and watching you grow both of your businesses. Actually, I think you got 3 or 4, but thank you so much. And I know Randy has one more thing. So before we bounce, let him add that.
Yeah. First of all, again, Tom, thank you. You guys, thank you for, letting us come on and using your media to, spread the word here. I wanted to say one thing, and this is a very serious thing, and I don't know if the detail industry side knows of this. This was just put together last week. I was talking with Sheldon. We've lost 4 really good people in our industry that I'm aware of. We lost Kevin Halewood. We lost Natalio Balderrama, who is just he was one of the original PDR guys who came from Argentina and trained all the Dent Wizard guys. He passed away this year. Kaz Stanlight from Stanlighter Tools. He passed away. He was big overseas. He's developed some really cool tools. That Stanlighter Tools there. He passed away. Gary Hosing, one of the most kindest men on our side of the industry, passed away. And there's going to be a memorial out in the hallway. And if you guys know any of your detailing people who have passed away, please have them bring a picture, have the families bring something, a book maybe for people to sign. This is, I can tell you, Kevin led the way, Lito led the way, Kaz led the way, and even Gary Hosing led the way just with his pure kindness to people. He was so active in our industry, and he passed away just a few months ago. All these guys led the way, and the 25th year, and here these guys pass away, but their legends will live on forever. Their legacy will. But everybody else, please, anybody that's passed away on the detail side, bring something, because out in the hallways, they're going to have a memorial set up for these guys. So if you guys can spread the word on that, anybody that's passed away, make sure they're a part of that. We have got to unite the detail side. We have to be a little bit more united here. When I say about this right here, the raffles, I know there's detail shops out there that you want to learn how to do PDR, or maybe you do PDR. This is a great deal. They're going to be for sale everywhere. Guys, thank you again. Thank you so much again, okay?
Yep, yeah, well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you dropping in, Randy. Tom, thank you so much for all you do. We're super excited to see you guys next week. So we are counting down the days. Please remember to go out, like, share, and subscribe. And
Jody,
we will. Yes, sir.
Yes,
please.
Once again, thank you all for having us on. The Fix Ops director told me this years ago, and it's always stuck with me. It's human nature to go towards pleasure versus pain. And the reason I bring it up, I live by that, and that's where my mind is. One of my guys that works for me reached out to RoadFS because he needed access to the reports, and Curtis took care of the problem. And that's a nice thing about, I don't care what business you're in, you're going to run into problems, but it's how the person on the other end resolves the problem. And it wasn't a problem with the software. It was a admin, giving my guy approval to get to these reports.
Yeah.
Curtis was professional. Johnny on the spot sent me an email, and my technician, who was having a snow day, he just wanted to see where he was at month to date because his pay gets paid off of it. Curtis took care of it and solved it. So it made him happy. It was taken care of. It took 30 seconds of my time, and the problem solved, and I move on to the next deal. So I just want to give props to RoadFS. Like I said, I don't know, it's been 6-7 years for my bedlining company, but it works well. And I met y'all through MTE, and it's a great networking event.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much. And that's
that.
Good to know. Like some of these things we don't know about, right? I didn't know that story, right? So it's nice that we have really tried to foster a servant-focused, a customer-focused mindset with our entire team. So I'm glad to hear that. So we will give Curtis a pat on the back and a thank you. And we want to thank you just for everything you do, for being our customer, for being on the show. And we are really excited to be there next week. Any last thing you want to share?
Nope. I'm going to be running through that tunnel. You're going to see all the imperfections, all the body work, the fake parts and everything. We'll be able to shake your hand, Tom, and meet you again in person. And I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, and just keep your Speedo on. So
I will be wearing a Speedo,
Well, thank you so much, Tom.
Thank
you guys for listening.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
And we'll check you next week.